Hey everybody, Tom here with Hidden Beats, and today we are talking with, is it Vita or Vita Love?
It's Vita.
Vita Love, there we go. How are you doing today?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm just doing wonderfully.
I love that.
So we're here today to talk about you, your career, your music, and kind of get a
Oh my
little bit
God, my
more,
favorite topic, me.
get a little bit more insight. It's just to who you are, but for those who are new, can you give a little intro about yourself?
Totally. Well, I am the star Vita Love, and Vita Love means a life of love because I do what I love and I do what I want. These last few years have taught us anything is that we got to do what we love and we got to do it right now. And that's why I started doing drag, was because I was a dancer, an acrobat. Before I was the star Vita Love, I was the star of Cirque du Soleil for 6 years. And in doing that, I had so much fun. I got to do so many things all over the world. And there was still a part of me that wanted to really embrace myself as an artist and really do what I wanted to do authentically, unapologetically. And that's how Vita was born. And I not only have been doing that in drag, but I've been doing that in my own life, uh, just living authentically and unapologetically. And it's just made me so much happier. So drag has given me that beautiful outlet. And it's also pushed me creatively and artistically, that it has now brought me to where we are today, releasing my song, Let It Crash.
And I would have to say drag is probably one of the most creative outlets you can probably have. There's so many different aspects to it that it's crazy to think just how much you have to put into it.
Well, and that's probably one of the first things that my drag mother and Ecstasy Love, one of the first things she taught me about drag has no rules.
Mm-hmm.
No rules. It's your interpretation of gender. It is your interpretation of who you are as an artist. Something that RuPaul has told us many, many times. Drag does not hide who you are. Drag reveals who you are. And it's so funny how true that is, because I didn't even realize how Vita was showing so much of who I was through my art
Mm-hmm.
until I actually saw it on stage, or I saw it in front of me in a mirror, that I was like, I know her. She's been hiding in there, but I know her and I
Yeah.
see her. It's been really, really cool to witness that journey.
And I applaud the work that you put into something like that, because I was checking out like your Instagram. Just your fitness routine alone has to be crazy. I don't think I could do anything near that.
Well, I mean, that's the kind of stuff I've been doing my whole life. I grew up as
Mm-hmm.
a dancer as a little kid. I was inspired by acrobatics. I knew about Cirque du Soleil when I was 5 years old, and that was my big, big, big goal. That's what I wanted to do. And at 21, I did that. And I lived out most of my 20s on tour with Cirque du Soleil. But at that point, I realized, oh my God, I achieved my life goal at 21. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. I'm supposed to keep dreaming. I'm
Mm-hmm.
supposed to want more for myself. What do I want? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? How about our own thing? How about live authentically? How about listen to your own heart? And that's how Vita was created.
Mm-hmm.
I got to take everything that I learned and absorbed from that amazing company, and I got to take all those skills to do something that was authentically mine.
For sure. What pushed you into the idea of releasing your first track?
What's that?
What pushed you into the idea of like releasing your first song, like putting that your first track together?
So I grew up in like a super musical household. Both of my parents are musicians.
Mm-hmm.
My dad specifically was an instrumental music teacher. So music was just such a big thing in our household. And as a young kid, I connected to movement and moving my body to music. And, I trained as a musician. I trained as a singer as a kid, but then dance and acrobatics and my career in that way kind of took off. You want to be able to do everything, and things just take time. But I always enjoyed singing. I always loved singing on my own. It's in my blood to hear music, and uh, it was always something that I really enjoyed doing. I was inspired by other queens around me who had been making music, and I got the opportunity to direct some music videos for some other queens,
Okay.
and they're great. They're awesome. They were doing their thing, and I was like, I can do this, and I can maybe do this a step better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Why not? What do I have to lose? Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, I just felt like I was able to really embrace the talent and the skill that I had this far. I could dog on myself for the skill that I don't have, but then we waste so much time in our lives, worrying about the skill that we don't have rather than embracing what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, let's get this out there. Who knows? This could be terrible. This could be a disaster. This could be amazing.
Yeah.
This could be incredible. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, let's treat this like the first song I'm writing, because this is what it is. So I put it out there, and I wanted it to sound as authentically as it could. So I wanted to pull from inspirations of mine. I wanted it to have that sound that really gets my heart going, so that it would get everybody else's heart going as well. And that's how Let It Crash came to be. It came from a really authentic story of tapping into those parts of my life where I wasn't at my best, tapping into those parts of my life where I wanted to give up, where I felt that the demons in my head or the demons around me in the universe were winning. Mm-hmm. And it was at that point that it was my choice to step up and push past those, and to learn something about myself and the world around me, and embrace my power again, gain my power back, embrace it, and let it crash. You know, and it reads into so many metaphors for us as humans, us as queer people. Right now, more than ever, is the time that we're supposed to lead with love and lead with authenticity, when many parts of the world are telling us that we are wrong and that we do not belong. It is to fight back with love and to stand strong in who we are, to say, I'm going to let my thunder crash. I'm going to let my lightning strike, and I'm going to let you know who the fuck I am.
For sure, for sure. And I was listening to the track beforehand, and you said it could be horrible, could be, you know, whatever. I think it sounded pretty good to me.
Oh my God, me too.
I certainly enjoyed it.
Yeah, you don't really know, like, when you're trying something new. And that's a thing with somebody who is a perfectionist. You know, I love to do things great. I don't like to do things bad, but you can't be great at something the first time you do it. You have to work on something to become great at it. You know, this face didn't look this pretty the first time I put a brush to it. I will tell you that, but I had to work on it and work on it and work on it. And here's the process of where we are today. In 6 months, it's going to be even prettier. But that's the thing. After I recorded Let It Crash, I left the studio and I got on a phone call with my best friend, and she said, "How did it go?" And I said, "I can't wait to be better next time."
It makes sense. You know? I mean, you're always looking to one step every time.
That's it. And I hope for the best for this song. And listen, the first time I heard the final edit of Let It Crash, I was ecstatic. I was so happy. I was like, this is a bop. People are going to go off. And people are going off. And I love it. And you know what I really want people to connect to is that phrase, let it crash. I'm going to let it crash. Tonight, I'm going to go out and let it crash.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to let my lightning strike. Whether that means I'm going to go out and have the best time ever, whether that means I'm going to go out and stand so confidently in who I am, whatever that means to them, I want everyone to let it crash.
For sure. And so when I was listening to it, one of the things I thought right away was, damn, this voice would be great on a power ballad too.
There you go. Listen, it's coming, honey. It is definitely coming. I am so excited to work with Velvet Code and to create new music and to just take more authentic parts of myself, to put those into music and put those into art the same way that I've put them into art as a dancer, as an actor, as any sort of performance artist. I've been able to draw so many parallels between the technique of music, dance, acting, etc. You know, once you have one technique, you draw the parallels, and making art is art, you know.
For sure. So when you make that power ballad, I expect to be one of the first.
Say that one more time.
When you make ballad, I want the first people to hear it.
Period. You got it.
So how did you actually get connected with Velvet and So Fierce music?
So I think the first time I saw something about So Fierce music was something popping by on Instagram, and I had seen other queer artists here in Toronto working with Velvet, and I somehow knew, like, right from seeing it, I was like, this is something that I need to do. This is something I need to be a part of. This is something that is definitely going to be a safe energy for me to explore this outlet of creativity. There is no surprise that we see some opportunities that may seem so grand to us, and we sometimes maybe shy away from those things. This was something that I thought was definitely achievable for myself, but and when I first met Velvet in person, I felt safe around him, and I felt safe that this person could guide me through the beginning steps of this journey. And he is so incredible at, one, teaching me so many things about my voice, how to record a song, how to create a song, how to bring all of that together. But in doing so, he has also validated my skill and my worthiness to do this, which
Mm-hmm.
has been so important in this journey. You know, not everybody gives you that. Some people expect you to have just done that work on your own and this and that, but that work is constantly moving, and Velvet was a big part of that.
Yeah, I got to talk to Velvet, I think it was a few weeks back now, or a month now, and hearing just the work that he's doing with So Fierce and kind of making sure to help push people in their music and trying to make sure that they get everything they need is pretty awesome.
He's really incredible. And you know, as soon as we finished, I had it in my own head that while I was writing Let It Crash, I was like, I don't want to just do one of these. I want to do more. I want to write more songs. I want to come out with a full EP. Okay, so like let's just like start writing a couple of songs and then we'll like feel it out with Velvet. You know, and I kind of like dropped a hint about that when the day we recorded Let It Crash. And after we finished and we were talking it over afterwards, he was like, "Oh yeah, we need to do this EP. We need to do this." You know, and is it going to come out in a month? Probably not. Later this year, definitely. You know, like I think we'll get some great work done on it, but I'm really excited to see where this takes us.
And have fun and enjoy the process as you're going, because there's so much there. Just take it in.
That's it.
So one of the things I do like to ask, and especially, you know, because we're in Pride Month and everything like that, it's community based. What's your perception of the LGBTQ community, music community right now?
Ooh, hitting me with a hard question.
I got a few of those.
Yeah, great. I love it. I will say that specifically as drag, but like also LGBTQ plus artists in general, this is something I'm definitely, it's not even that I'm working on this. This is something that's just naturally happening. When you have a platform and you have a stage, you have a microphone, and you've got people looking at you, it is a chance to make a change. It is a chance to make a change for the better. It is a chance to influence love. Is it a chance to influence inclusivity and acceptance? And, you know, there is so much. We are at Pride time right now, and Pride is a very fun time for our community. And I am so ready to turn up this week. It's going to be great. But what I want people to remember is that Pride did start as a riot. Pride did start as a fight for our rights. Pride did start from a place of some very scary times for our community. And it was that fight that many of our brothers and sisters did not live through, through the AIDS epidemic in the 80s and beyond. And I actually posted something on my Instagram yesterday that I was like, when we're twirling during this Pride, hold them, remember them, keep them with us. Their spirits are still here. They're here to party with us.
Yeah.
They're not here with us, but they're here. So remember them, you know, and we are in a time right now that is quite similar to that, where queer people are under attack. But we don't fight back equally. We fight back with love. We fight back with accepting one another and lifting each other up. You
That's the only real good way to do it.
That's it.
What can someone like myself, who's outside of the community, do to help support or show support for the community, really?
Well, you can download all of our music on all streaming sites. No, okay, well, that. But as I said, it's love. It's questions as to if you are unknowing of somebody's lifestyle and how they would like to be addressed, or if there's something that you don't know, like just like people from different cultures, you know, when you ask them, like, tell me about your family, tell me about how your parents grew up, tell me about this, tell me about that, because you want to know more about them from what country they're from. That is just as much a part of them on the inside as well, because they were born into this world that way. Ask them questions. Ask questions out of curiosity and love for wanting to know who they are. And 9 times out of 10, people are going to want to tell you that because you're showing interest in who they are. And Sometimes people are scared to do that because they don't know what kind of question is acceptable. No question is a bad question. And if it is phrased the wrong way, or if wrong terminology is used, if it comes from a place of love, people will help you on that. You know, there's a lot of new terminology coming around, and that's the other thing, is that people don't know how to use new gender pronouns and they them pronoun. They don't understand that it's not a plural. Listen, you can learn new words. You can learn new words. We learned coronavirus. We learned Omicron. We learned all that garbage because we had to. Listen, this is just as important.
And I admit I definitely have some issues trying to understand some of those things too, and the right type of questions to ask, and how to, you know, use pronouns, things like that. So it's a learning experience for me every day when something like that comes up.
Sure. And that's all it is asking questions and being curious. That's how we get better at anything. You know, we like, fearing something is the unknown. Fear is the unknown. So we get scared of something because we don't want to be, this is coming back to not wanting to be bad at things, right? But how do we stop being bad at things? We learn, right?
Yeah,
we learn
every day.
Educate ourselves. So we don't have to be afraid of these new gender pronouns that have always been there. And these spirits have always felt this way, but we need to ask the questions to allow people the safe space to be addressed the way that they want to be.
It's like my niece, she's 15. She's getting into trying to learn all these things too. And she believes she's either, she said asexual, but I don't think she fully understood what that meant. But she's queer or lesbian. She hasn't really understood those either. So she's trying to learn all these things too. And at 15 in the school system right now, and how they're teaching people that it's all over the place. So it's hard to kind of wrap your head around that. So it's a learning experience for me and for her and for everyone these days.
Well, and giving someone also the space, whether they're young or whether they aren't, the journey of discovering ourselves it never stops. You know, there is constant change through self-discovery, at least for people who are wanting to put themselves on that journey of every single day wanting to learn something new about themselves. So I, at one point, just consistently went by they them pronouns, because through drag, I got to really, really, really beautifully embrace such femininity. And it was just so great to see in the exterior the femininity that was inside me. But what it also did is, the second I got out of drag, I got to embrace so much of my masculinity, especially through sex, and the way that because I identify as a gay man, and the way that I was able to connect with other men, I was like, yes, I am a gay man, and I love that part of my masculinity. So it wasn't that I was non-binary. It wasn't that I was neither male nor female. It was that I wanted to be gender fluid and embrace both of them. So anytime somebody would misgender me and say he or she in drag, I never wanted people to feel like they couldn't. So then I started saying, out of drag, he or they. In drag, she or they. He, she, they, as long as it comes with love, as long as it's saying, you're not a woman, you're a man. Like, if somebody is trying to tell you what you are with negative connotation, this is when it comes a problem, right? But I do really want it. I did really want people to understand that it is all a part of me. He, she, they, as long as it comes with love.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should tell you how to live your life. I know I would hate someone telling me how to live my life. And
that's the thing, you know. And I think that people really do go through those transformations of, you know, of even what their sexual orientation is, because they learn new things about the people around them and things that they're interested in, so they're able to identify differently. And you know, that just comes with the constant learning, the people around them, their friends, their family, their community, to embrace them. They've made this change, and we're going to embrace them for this change, because we love them yesterday, we love them today, and we love them tomorrow.
Yeah, and it shows the community is strong, and everyone supports each other, and I can see that from the outside and support as much as I can anyways.
Absolutely.
I was always curious, because my wife watches, you know, RuPaul, things like that, and I watch it sometimes with her. How much work does it take to put in, like, one of the like, I saw some of your performances on your Instagram. How much effort are you putting into that? Like, is that a regular, you have to practice that on a regular basis type of thing?
Can
Or
I be
go
honest
for
with
it?
you?
Sure.
I'll be totally honest with you. The thing is, I have been working as a dancer since I was 3 years old. I was
Hmm.
in the studio at 3 years old, learning my right foot from my left and getting a little bit older, learning a variety of styles of dance, pushing my body, connecting my mind body connection for years and years and years. I had a professional dance career that took me to Cirque du Soleil. I know my instrument very, very, very well.
Hmm.
Now, the thing that drag really helped me with was connecting with my audience that much more, because it's not just I'm on a stage, they're in an audience. I am amongst them. I am with them. I'm feeding off of their energy, right? So there are some times where I'll get into a room and the energy is dead. So I have to feel off of that and pull it up even more.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So as a dancer, I know myself. I can walk in there and just dance completely unplanned, completely off the cuff, just going in there to do what I do best, which is to entertain.
Hmm.
Um, so I know the music super well that I choose.
Okay.
I will never choose a song that I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard it a couple times. I kind of know the word. No, I'm not doing that. Do you know what I mean? I will make sure this is a song that I know, so that I know my words. I know my musicality. I can hit accents, because that just brings a performance to the next level. It's those details that I really love connecting to, that just kind of take it that much further. Um, and honestly, when it comes to the quantity, the stuff, the cherry on top, my acrobatic skill that I'm able to put into my performance, I continue to train that stuff, but it's stuff that's been in my body for a while. There was a moment in time where I was like, how do I do this in a super high heel? I figured it out. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I make that, and I bring that into my drag because it's unique. And I know that. And I think it is something that I love bringing into my drag, because it's not something that everybody can do. And it's given me some identity. It's given me some branding.
Hmm.
Um, but honestly, I will say this as well. I think that when you're too planned, when there is too much that's choreographed and you want things to go a certain way, that comes from perfectionism. Things won't ever really go your way. On
Yep.
stage, in live performance, stuff happens. I was talking about this the other day at a show, that like, even if you had something completely choreographed, you've been working on it for 3 months, somebody's going to shove some money in the air that you got to run across the room and go take that money, because that's what we do.
Hmm.
Listen, we love our art, we love our this, we love our that. We get in some coin. So if somebody flashes that bill up in the air, I'm running across the room to get that money.
Yeah.
So, it's always best to just know your skill, know yourself, trust yourself. And if you're having fun, chances are your audience is having fun too.
Yeah, for sure. Now, is your overall performance going to change? Are you going to add like your like lip syncing or singing your songs into it now? Like how?
Well, yeah, I actually, because the song came out on Friday,
Hmm.
so it was released everywhere. And then So Fierce had their Pride event on the Saturday, which was the next day.
Okay.
I sang my song live.
Nice.
It was great. It was so fun. It was so prior to the last January to May of this year, I was part of Rock of Ages with More Entertainment at the Elgin Theatre here in Toronto.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was singing live 5 days a week, and it was really cool for me. It was really cool for me to have that experience, to, dance my face off to some 80s rock music 5 days a week, and to sing some songs that I have loved my entire life.
Hmm.
So in writing Let It Crash, I was very heavily influenced by that music and by that tone of singing, by that sound, by that 80s rock sound. And I was able to kind of take that in how my voice was training at that time, and mix that with a nice like electronic dance music sound, inspired by that really fun pop Eurovision inspiration. I love the Eurovision competition. I just think it's so drag. It's just like overly camp. It's just so amazing. When I first saw this, I was like, where has this been my entire life?
Hmm.
So I was able to kind of combine those sounds. And there's been so many pieces of art that I've done, whether it be a dance piece, a short film, now Let It Crash. It's not until the thing is finished and on display that I actually get to learn from it.
No, mate, that makes sense.
So when I first heard Let It Crash, I just got to learn I got to learn what my sound was. I got to learn what this story was. And it did end up being that story of I was down and out. I was going through a rough time, and I decided that this was going to be my time to get stronger and be the authentic, unapologetic person that I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it came through like that. And it was really, really cool to see that.
Yeah, probably a nice cathartic release of wow, this happened and it's good and it feels good.
Yeah, and in that respect, it's so personal and it's so mine that no matter if people say, oh, it's not my kind of music, oh, I don't love it, oh, I wish it was more like that, it doesn't matter. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. You can have your opinion on it, you can hate it if you want, that's totally fine. But somebody probably didn't like Gaga, somebody didn't like Beyonce, whatever, it doesn't matter. You have your own taste and everybody's a critic, but no one can touch it because it's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah,
It's my
exactly.
name on it. It's my baby. I created it from something that was so real that happened to me. And it feels so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a great feeling for sure. What's something that you do outside of, your performances, your music that helps keep you grounded?
Well, I do have a puppy who is a year and a half old now,
Okay.
and he is just everything. His name is Smiley.
Smiley, that's
He
nice.
is a Shiba Jack Russell, so he is a lot of energy, but so am I. We kind of are a match made in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Being on tour all those years and traveling around the world and doing all these crazy things, I almost felt like I'm not allowed to have a dog. I'm not allowed to have a
Yeah.
relationship. I'm not allowed to have this. I'm not allowed because it's like everything was just to do with my job. And I decided that I can have it all, and I'm going to have it all. If I
Mm-hmm.
want to travel and go do these things, yeah, I'm going to do it. If I want to be this drag queen and I want to make a splash, I want to let it crash here, I'm going to do it. But I
Mm-hmm.
want a dog, you know? Vita Love ain't ever reproducing. It's not happening. We ain't having children. This dog is my child.
Mm-hmm.
So he has really lightened up the last year and a half for me. So he does keep me grounded even when I'm working on all these things and swept up in creativity and this and that while the dog still has to go to the park. So
Yeah.
that is an appointed break for me as well, which is really beautiful.
Yeah, dogs are perfect at not caring what you're doing. It's let's go do something.
They're like, or I will poop on your floor. So
Yep.
it
For
is what it
sure.
is.
One question I really like to ask just anyone in general, and you might have a unique perspective on this, is something you think should be asked more in an interview scenario that's not asked enough.
Whoa. Okay. Something that should be asked more in an interview situation, specifically like this kind of interview for an artist.
Well, I guess it could be really anything someone to hear for, an artist or someone acting that you think would be an interesting topic for someone else to know.
That's a great question. And I wish I knew you were going to ask that so I could have thought of a really great answer. But I guess what's coming to my head right now is I guess it would be a really, really big question. And that question is, what impression do you want to leave on this earth?
Okay.
Like, what is your overall, if there's one thing that people are going to remember you for, what do you want it to be? Because I think that a lot of people go through their life going through the motions of a system that we have been brought up to just have to learn and understand. We have to work for money to live with a roof over our head and then pay taxes and do it all over again every single year. And I think people just line up in the system and forget that each and every single person came onto this earth with a spark of life, and uh, everybody has a unique perspective and has something unique to say.
Mm-hmm.
And what a shame it would be to not be able to absorb every perspective and everybody's reason for being here, because all it takes is one person to create a catastrophic shift in this world.
Yep.
So if I were to answer that question for you, it's something I have already said. Little story. I was at the beach with my friend the other day, and we were just having so much fun. And it was just a great day in the sun. It was like the beginning of summer. We were just having so much fun. And he said, you live so unapologetically. And by doing that, you give people the permission to do the same. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even thinking about anybody else. I was just doing what I wanted to do. I was at the beach. I was dancing to music. I was acting a fool. I was hitting on boys. I was just doing what I wanted. And he was laughing and he was doing the same thing. He was having fun with me. And, you know, he started hitting on boys unapologetically and just doing what, and he said, you give everyone the space to feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I, more than anything, I've hated being in those situations where I felt like I couldn't be myself. I've hated being in those situations where I felt like I couldn't open my mouth and say exactly what I felt without any judgment or without feeling like I was doing something wrong, you know? And when he said that to me, I said, "Oh my God, that's my purpose. That's why I do what I do. That's why I do my art. That's why I live the way that I'm doing. It's been working for me, and I want more people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I want more people to live honestly and unapologetically.
I think everybody should live just a little bit more like that.
Period.
That's a oddly enough, that actually rolled into my last question about the takeaways of what you hope people take away from everything. So it worked out very nicely to have that at the end.
I love it.
That's pretty much all I have written down. Is there any kind of final words of wisdom or tidbits you'd like to leave to people?
Oh my goodness. Final words, final tidbits. Kids, live like there's no tomorrow. Just do it. If you have any doubt, should I do it? Oh my God, I did do it. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Should I ask for that? Yes, ask for it. Am I worth it? Yes, you're worth it. Your life is yours. Well, do it.
You never know until you try.
Period. Who knows? You could have a new releasing song called Let It Crash, just like me.
We're gonna make sure people get a chance to hear that too. We're linking it in the description of this video.
Rock it out, people.
Well, like I said, that's all I have written down. It was amazing getting to learn a little bit more about you and get to know the person behind the music.
This has been a pleasure. And I'm enjoying talking about the song because it's actually helping me to realize where I was, where I am, and where I want to go with my new music. So stay tuned.
Well, I'm excited to hear more. And like I said, I want that power ballad as soon as it comes out.
Oh, honey, I'm going to give you all the Celine realness.
Excellent. Well, we're going to sign off and you enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm going to hopefully have this up pretty soon so everyone else can learn a little bit more about you.
Sounds good.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Live with love.